Okay, so let me just go into more about the Democrats and the Republicans. I was actually going to make part two, but I'll just have to do some edits and cut in this video to make it shorter. But basically, concerning recent things I've been reading in the news right now, I notice with the Democrats currently, their candidates are very controversial. And they're controversial on purpose. They know exactly what they're doing. And they're getting more interest than the Democrats. The Democrats look really boring right now. And so, like, the Republicans are the talk of the town, basically. So they know what they're doing and their tactics. And they know what they're saying is going to come off as offensive. And they're doing it on purpose because that's just how it works in the political world. You have to be controversial to stand out. And I noticed that Trump is gaining, he's gaining back in numbers again over Ben Carson. And it's interesting that Ben Carson recently made some comments about refugees and comparing them to rabid dogs. Obviously, that may have not been the right choice of words or comparison to make because he's a public figure and he has to watch what he say. But again, the things he's saying is a lot of people's thought pattern is like that. So it's not surprising or shocked, and I'm not offended or care. Even if he was talking about people in my culture, I wouldn't care what he says. Because again, he's Ben Carson, and I am who I am. Now, in terms of Democrat and Republicans, I noticed that, when he did make those terms, people were, of course, saying, oh, he's racist, this is a racial blah, 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 and so forth. But come on now, people. Majority of politicians have some racism going on with them. The biggest one right now that I see as a racist is Obama. And there's proof out there that this man is a racist. You see, that's the difference between Republicans and Democrats. Like, I think Republicans are more like what you see is what you get. Like, they don't hide what their beliefs are or anything like that. So you know what you're going to get. Democrats, on the other hand, they don't, they put on a front, they put on a little swag, we like to say these days, swag. They put on this face for the public, for the spotlight, and that's just how they do their thing. And then they creep in and do things, undermining things, underhand things, in once they get their seat and their position. That's how I see Democrats. That's just my personal opinion. And I say Obama's the biggest racist because he is definitely a huge racist. If you read the book, he has written a book called Dreams of My Father, and in this book, this man said some really blatant things about how he feels about the white race. And there is a saying that goes, if you want certain group of people, specifically black people, to not know about certain things, just put it in a book, because people nowadays do not read books, and that's why majority of the things Obama reveals about himself is in his books. And a lot of people don't read those books. Some people probably purchase his book just as a memorabilia, but never really fully read his book. I'm gonna quote some things from his book. Okay, so towards his mother, he says, I found a solace in nursing a pervasive sense of grievance and an animosity against my mother's race. And there's another book which blatantly tells that he stands with the Muslim religion, because there was a big case about that, whether he's a Christian or he's a Muslim. But in so many ways, he has, showed himself to be a Muslim. He even wears a Muslim ring. That's not even a wedding ring. And on the inscription of that ring that he wears, it says Allah is the only God, or something like that on the inscription. And he's been wearing that same ring from when he was in his school years, probably when he was in his teen years, all the way up till now. So I believe that the ring that he's currently wearing is a Muslim ring. It's not a wedding ring, a wedding band, but it just looks like it. But he had been wearing that band for the longest. unless he changed the band. I don't know, but I doubt it because he's so committed to his Muslim faith. And he even mentions it in one of his other books called Audacity of Hope, where it quotes, "I will stand with the Muslims should the political winds shift in an ugly direction." So he's basically showing his commitment to Muslim faith and what side he's truly on, and that's the side that he will stand on, whatever wind shifts or whatever he meant by that. Basically saying that's who he associates himself with stronger with. So that's clearly indication that he's a Muslim, and he has some racism in him because he holds a lot of grudge towards the white race. He doesn't like that part of him, that white part of him, based on what he says about his mother and the animosity he has towards her and some other stuff that he has mentioned in his book, and how strongly he feels against whites. So that's a racist. Obama's a racist, but you don't see white folks getting up and protesting about racism. But that is a racist, and he has no right to be a racist. It doesn't matter if you're black or whatever happened in the past, and slavery didn't happen to you. So that's in the past, and yes, we learned from that, and we're supposed to, build from that. We're supposed to do better. And that's what Martin Luther King was about. He wasn't about, hate whites and I have animosity towards whites. No, he said his goal and his dream was that blacks and white come together and work together in unity. He had no animosity towards a race of people based on what they did in the slavery days and and so forth, because he was intelligent to know that the current white people today aren't the white people back then. And of course, again, we all have racism, and as blacks there's some blacks that are racist, and there's some whites that are still racist. But we're free now. There's no one in shackles and chains. We ain't saying yes masses or nothing like that unless you choose to be a slave. So nowadays you can choose whether you want to be free or you want to be a slave. Back then you had no choice. That was not a choice. But today you have a choice, so you have no excuse. So anyway, there's multiple entries in that book of his where he referred to whites, and it really showed his distaste and hatreds towards whites. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff we don't know about Obama, and that's what I'm saying with the Democratic Party. That seems to be how it usually is. You don't know who these people. Some people don't research these candidates. They just think reading newspaper and watching as much CNN and Fox News and listen to a lot of debates will, tell you and reveal all you need to know about these people. You would think common sense would tell you that not really, because obviously you're going to put on a front and you're going to say what people want you to say, and you're going to say the things that you think people want to hear to make people like you. Obviously that's what they do. Like the Republicans, they're more like, hey, I don't care if you like me. I'm going to say this and I'm going to say it and I'm going to be this, and I have nothing to hide. Both parties are cut from the same cloth. They're just two sides of a coin. But they come from the same maker. The same people control them. So that's just my thought on that. And that's it. Bye.